6-8 builds are officially the best build in NBA 2K26, and the game has only been out for 1 day. So in this video, I'll be showing you guys how to make the best 6-8 demigod so that you can take over every game mode. And trust me, this build can do everything. Starting with finishing, we can get contact dunks, then we can shoot from anywhere on the court, cook up with the best dribble moves in the game. Just look at how fast this build is moving. And lastly, we can obviously play defense at an elite level. I will also be showing you guys 2 versions of this build, including one without cap breakers and a version with cap breakers. Drop a like if you plan on using this demigod build. Let's aim for 1,000 likes on this video, and hit that subscribe button for me showing you guys this demigod build. But now let me show you guys actually how to make the build. All right, y'all, once you guys have made it into the 2K26 builder, you will see the screen right here. Obviously just click A and then you're in the my player builder. Now after that, you'll be greeted by this screen right here, which is basically the my player builder screen, where you actually have to choose a template, and we're obviously going to choose to create your own template. Do not choose the Pro Toon builds or the NBA builds. And then after that, just go ahead and fill out the information: first name, last name, handedness, and jersey number. That doesn't matter, it doesn't affect the build at all, so just choose whatever you want to. Then after that, it's actually time to go ahead and create the build and choose the custom template of the build, which is the position, height, weight, and wingspan of our build. Now the first version I'm going to go over is the build without cap breakers, so if you guys don't plan on earning too many cap breakers, I would recommend you guys make this version of the build. And we're going to start off with the position of this build. I went shooting guard on my build because at point guard you cannot go 6'8", but at shooting guard and small forward and power forward you can go 6'8", but I went shooting guard because I want to be placed at the shooting guard position when I play pro-am, or when I play park I want to be placed at the point guard position when I play with a center. So I went shooting guard on this build, and this is more of like your guard type of 6'8" type of build. It's not like a playmaking glass cleaner type of build. So I went shooting guard. And then for the height of this build, obviously we're gonna go 6'8", because a 6'8" is just the best build in the game. It's literally, the game has been out for like a day and 6'8" are literally taking over. So go 6'8" for the height. And then after that, we have to do the weight of our build. Now you have 2 options. I'm gonna tell you what I did and what you can do. You can either go minimum weight, which is 185 pounds, so that you can get that 80 speed with ball. But what I actually did is I actually went to 193 pounds. This is so that I could be a little on the heavier side but not lose that 80 speed with ball. It doesn't really change many attributes or anything like that. It maybe might change the body shape, but I went 193 pounds. You can go 180 if you want, so that you can be the minimum weight. But honestly speaking, I just went 193. Why would you not go a little higher? So I went 193, but you can go at the minimum weight, which is 185. But after you choose the height and weight of your build, it's now time to move on to the wingspan. And for the wingspan of this build, I went a 7-foot wingspan, but this is really specific. I went a 7-foot wingspan because I want that 89 mid-range shot right there. I don't want to go any lower than an 89 mid-range shot. It's going to help us get a lot of good shooting badges. And you guys see, when you bump that up to a 7'1" wingspan, you lose that 89 mid-range, and we want that 89 mid-range. So make sure you guys go and go 7-foot wingspan on both versions of the build. Obviously we're going over the first one right now, but for both versions, go 7-foot wingspan. And then after that, that's pretty much the custom template of this build complete. I went position shooting guard, height 6'8", weight 193, but you can go 185. And then wingspan, this is specific, keep it at a 7 foot so we get that 89 mid-range. But now it's time for the most important part about this build and what you guys came for, obviously, which is the attributes of this build. Now like I said, we're gonna go over the version with no cap breakers first, and I'll show you guys the version with cap breakers. So for the version with no cap breakers, we're gonna start off with our finishing category, and we're gonna start out with drive and dunk, and we're gonna upgrade this all the way up to an 89 drive and dunk. This is so that we can get both pro contact dunks on our build. Obviously if you want to lower this to an 87 for one pro contact dunk, you can, but I went 89 because honestly the contact dunks are low-key insane in this game and they help out a lot. So I went at 89 drive and dunk for that. And then what I need you guys to also do is come up to your vertical and put that up to a 78. This helps us obviously unlock the pro contact dunks and also gives us our posterizer on silver. So make sure you guys go and do that for your drive and dunk and vertical. And then after that, that's pretty much it for the finishing category. Do not lower any of your other stats. And one thing I do want to mention, you get a 49 standing dunk on this build, and that will actually unlock us 2 standing dunk animations. And standing dunks are actually overpowered in this game. They were overpowered last year as well. So yeah, make sure you keep this standing dunk at a 49. You get 2 standing dunk animations, and then the 89 drive and dunk and the 78 vertical will unlock us 2 pro contact dunks and also silver posterizer. After the finishing category, we're going to move on to the next category, which is our shooting category. And we're going to start off with our mid-range shot, and we're going to upgrade this, like I said earlier, to an 89 mid-range shot. That's why we went that 7-foot wingspan. And the 89 mid-range shot will unlock the silver shifty shooter, silver deadeye, gold set style specialist, and then when you also use your max +2, you can actually get that on legend, which is actually insane. And then obviously you can specialize in shooting as well to also get even more cap breakers, even more max +1s and all that. So one thing I will say is I would definitely recommend you guys specialize in shooting on this build, or you can go playmaking as well, which I'll talk about in a second. But after the 89 mid-range, come down to your 3-pointer and put this to an 83. Do not go 84, just keep it at an 83. This will unlock us bronze limitless range, and once again, if you use your max +2, you can get this up to a gold as well. 83 3-pointer, more than enough, especially when you have that set shot specialist and use your max +2. You're going to be able to shoot. 2K26 runs on a pure green window as well. And you guys see how I was greening in the clips in the intro. 83 3-pointer is more than enough. So I kept mine at an 83. Do not upgrade it to 84. You don't unlock anything. So keep this at an 83 3-pointer and the mid-range at an 89. And then for the free throw, I'm going to come back to this. For right now, I'm not going to upgrade it. But now for your playmaking category, this is very specific. So I'm going to need you guys to pay attention here. First, we're going to start off with ball handle, and we're going to actually put that all the way up to an 85. You can go to an 86 if you want the ankle assassin on silver, but I don't really want it. I'm not going to lie to you guys. And you can also use a max +1, max +2 on that if you guys want to. So make sure you guys keep this at an 85 for my version of the build. If you tweak it, you can tweak it. And for the speed with ball, actually go all the way up to an 80 speed with ball. Now, one thing with speed with ball, it actually unlocks a silver lightning launch, but if you use a max +2, you can get this on Hall of Fame at a 6'8", which is really crazy. It's going to make your build move fast. And one thing I do want to say, 80 speed with ball actually gets us that blur takeover, which I'll go over later. But make sure you guys keep this at an 80 speed with ball. You can go 75, but you won't unlock that blur takeover. And that takeover is actually like really good. So I recommend keeping this at an 80. And one thing I do want to say about the speed with ball, make sure this does not drop below a 75. If you do plan on reducing it and not going 80, make sure it just doesn't drop below a 75, because you want that Zach LaVine dribble style for a 6'8". That's the best dribble style to help you move fast and all that. So make sure it stays at a 75. And then now moving on to the pass accuracy of this build, I see a lot of people going 71 pass accuracy. I like to go 76 pass accuracy. This is because I actually want all the silver playmaking badges, as you guys can see right there. If you guys want to go higher, if you guys play 5v5 game modes, go ahead and do that. But me, I like to just keep it at 76. It's good enough to play 5v5. But if you're going to be the point guard on 3s or 2s, 76 is more than enough. If you play park, 76 is more than enough. Moving on to the defensive category, this is also specific as well, but it can also be changed. I'm going to explain every single stat, obviously. Starting with the interior defense, I put my interior defense to a 70. Now, 70 interior defense is not too high, but it'll unlock us paint controller, and we actually need that badge as well. So keep your interior defense at a 70. It's not too high, but you're going to get stops, hands up in the paint and all that. You're 6'8", long arms. You will get stops with a 70 interior. And then for the perimeter defense, I actually went an 85 perimeter defense. This is obviously so that we can get the silver perimeter defensive badges. Now, obviously, we don't have them right now, but once we upgrade our agility, we're going to get them. And then for the steal, right now, as of right now in NBA 2K26, on-ball steals are not that good. So for that reason, I went a 79 steal. If a patch comes out later, sooner or later down the line, then maybe on-ball steals will be good. But one thing I will say is interceptor is really good. Lane steals are really good, especially if you have a high steal. And a 79 steal is pretty decent. It's not too high, but you're going to get interceptors, obviously, with silver interceptor. Now, like I said, on-ball steals are not the greatest, but a 79 steal you can get by. And I don't want to sacrifice any other stats on the build, so I just went a 79 steal to get that silver interceptor and silver glove. And then lastly, for the defensive category, we're going to go over block, and we're going to actually put this block all the way up to an 84. This is obviously so that we can get silver paint patroller on our build. And you guys see right there, we also get high flying denier on silver as well. And yeah, the defense on this build is really good. Anybody goes up on you, if you're guarding the ISO or anything like that, you're going to get blocks on this build. You're going to get stops in the interior. Perimeter defense, if you're guarding a small guard or anything like that, or any type of guard on the perimeter, you're going to get shot contests. You're going to do really good on defense in the perimeter. So overall, this build is really good on defense. It's all around. It can do a little bit of everything on defensive end. And then after that, we're going to skip over the rebounding category because this is the shooting guard version of the build. If you guys want to see a build that actually has some rebounding, a 6'8" build, I posted one. I'll leave it at the end of this video. You guys can go watch it. But for right now, we're going to skip the rebounding on this build. And then now we're actually going to go over the physicals on this build, starting with speed. I put my speed at an 85. You obviously want to have at least the 85 speed. You're going to also unlock slippery off ball on silver. 85 speed or higher, that's what I like to go on all my builds. If you want to go higher, you can. Speed is very important, so I recommend at least the 85 or higher. Do not go any lower than the 85. And then for the agility on this build, it's not too high, but it's pretty decent. It unlocks us the badges that we need, and that is 76 agility, unlocks us silver on ball menace, silver pick dodger, and then silver slippery off ball as well. Now, the reason we actually went 76 agility is obviously to get the badges, but if you change anything else on this build, the build is just, you know, not going to be really good. So you're going to have to sacrifice something somewhere. So I went 76 agility. I know it's a little low, but yeah, I went 76 agility. Let me know if you would change that in the comment section. And then now after that, the strength, we're going to keep it at a 50 because this is more of like a guard ISO type of build. You don't really need strength. And then for the vertical, keep this at a 78, like I mentioned, for silver posterizer and both pro contact dunks. And then after that, the build is pretty much complete, 98 out of a 99 overall. So the rest you're just going to throw on your free throw if you want to. Keep that at a 68 free throw. And then the rest you're going to throw on your post control. And now this is actually the finalized version of the stats for the version with no cap breakers. You guys can see we have a pretty much decent all-around type of build. 89 drive and dunk, 83 three-pointer, 89 mid-range, 85 ball handling, 80 speed with ball, and then you guys see the other stats right there. This build is literally all around. It can literally do everything. And now the last thing I want to go over before I show you guys the version with cap breakers is the takeovers. And now, like I said, we went 80 speed with ball so that we can actually get the blur takeover. You guys can see right here, this dribble wizard blur takeover. This takeover right here makes your build super fast. So make sure you guys use this takeover. I definitely recommend this one. Or another one I recommend is this poster machine one. But if I was to actually just recommend one and use one for the whole year, is this blur takeover. It's super overpowered, makes your build fast. Now, after showing you guys the first version of this build without cap breakers, I'm going to quickly go over the next version of this build, which is the one with cap breakers, and explain what has changed. Now, obviously, I'm not going to go over every single stat. I'm just going to go over what I basically changed. And the first thing we're going to start off with is the drive and dunk, and I actually put the drive and dunk down to an 87, and then I put the vertical all the way up to a 75. This is so that we can actually get one pro contact dunk, but once you unlock cap breakers, you can obviously put 2 to your drive and dunk and 3 to your vertical, and you'll get both pro contact dunks, and you save attributes in the builder. And another thing that is different is this build actually has an 87 mid-range instead of the 89 off the rip. Now, this is obviously to save stats in the builder so that we can actually put rebounding up and put our offensive rebound to a 77 and our defensive rebound to a 65, and then we also put our agility all the way up to an 85 as well. So this is more of like a defensive type of rebounding type of 6A build, because the cap breakers allows us to actually upgrade some other stats. So that's basically the change version of this build. Like I said, 87 drive and dunk, and now we have a 75 vertical, but now we also have an 85 agility, 77 offensive rebound, 65 defensive rebound, and then we also have that 87 mid-range. Now, obviously, the takeover stays the same. You want to choose that blur takeover with this because we have that 80 speed with ball and an 85 ball handling, so nothing changes right there. So this is the version of this build with cap breakers. I definitely recommend this one if you were to earn a lot of cap breakers, but if you don't plan on earning a lot of cap breakers, just make the first version of the build. It's way better if you guys don't plan on earning cap breakers. But once again, I want to reiterate, if you plan on earning cap breakers and playing this game for a long time, make sure you make this version of the build. Is basically more all around. It could rebound, it could play better defense, and it can still get the contact dunks and all that type of stuff. And then after that, it's time for the build name of this build and the shades that we get. Now, this is the version that's actually without the cap breakers, because I know a lot of casual players will be making that one more. And obviously, you guys see we have shades of Eddie Jones, Tracy McGrady, and Brandon Miller. And our archetype name is actually a two-way mid-range slasher. And you guys can see on the right side, those are our go-to badges. Our top attributes are strengths, and we actually have 0 weaknesses on this build, which is actually really good. 2K marks that as really good, I guess. And yeah, this is the 6A demigod that is officially taking over NBA 2K26 on day 1 of the game. But after that, that's pretty much it for this video. If you did find this video helpful, make sure you drop a like and hit that subscribe button. We're so close to 100,000 subscribers. And as mentioned, if you guys would like to see a 6A build that is more of like a power forward type of build with a lot of rebounding, make sure you guys go ahead and click this video on your screen. You'll enjoy it. I'll see you guys over there.